What's up, everybody? Caleb Alexander back with another video. Today we're going to be going through and choosing what is suitable shells for most shell-dwelling cichlids that you'll find in Lake Tanganyika. So go ahead, bear with me. I'm gonna go ahead and set the camera up and I'll show you some of the shells I acquired today. I went to Michael's and Hobby Lobby. I know I could have just ordered escargot shells offline, but I don't want my tank to just look like a traditional, typical shell dweller tank. I want to have some type of variety in there, something just a little bit different. So I'll go ahead and let's just get this show on the road. All right. So here we got one bag of shells. This cost $11.99. Good variety in here. So let's go. I think I got this one from Hobby Lobby. So let's open it up and see what is actually usable for shell dwellers. Starting off on the top, we have these shells. I don't know what these shells are called, but ideally for shell dwellers, from the research I've seen, you really want openings that are at least 2 inches, in between 1 to 2 inches wide or open, so that the fish can fit in there. So these look usable. I don't know how the shell dwellers will use them or not, but these look usable. So I'll go ahead and pick through these, put these all in a group of their own. I see it came with these smaller ones too, which may be useful for fry or just extra decorations. So we'll go ahead and put all those to the side. So far, we have 2 shells that I know for sure will be usable by adult terriers of fish. Okay, got another interesting shell. Fail. This is not usable. I'm not even going to take out any of the flat ones. There we go. That's a good opening. Usable. Usable. There is some like big shells in here that I'm kind of interested in. This one, I don't think they will use this. So I'm gonna put this in the not usable pile. And you see I'm kind of skipping over these because obviously the shell dwellers like the type of shells that kind of curve up and are like a cave, and these are not. Well, this is, one of the ones I showed at the beginning, but these are basically useless for what I'm trying to use them for. So we'll just put those off to the side. A good amount of shells in this bag. Okay, I dropped some, but none of them broke. This is an interesting shell. I believe I want to say usable. I mean, the opening's big enough. It curls up. It's maybe usable. Another one of these, smaller version, not usable. This, definitely usable. So go ahead and put that in the usable pile. These big shells, I don't think the shell dwellers will actually use these because they're too big. But definitely usable as far as it goes, as just adding extra details. And I mean, if you put it, they can go in there, but will it be a shell they really pick to actually choose to host long term? I doubt it, just because the size of it is just too big. Another one that fits that same kind of description, too big. Will they use it as a cave? Yeah, but I don't know if they would spawn in something that big. Not usable. No curve, basically not usable. This is big. Another one of those bigger shells. I will say usable, hostable, I don't know. This, not usable. This opening is not big enough, not usable. This is actually a pretty neat looking shell. Don't think they would use this one either, just because the opening is so big and there's not even that much space once you really get into the shell. So, not usable. This, kind of fits that same description. I'm going to just go ahead and put this in the not usable pile. And when I'm saying not usable, of course you could put these shells in, and the fish more than likely will use them in some way, but I don't think these are really like the ideal shells that they're looking for. So again, another one, too big of an opening. No real curve, no real area back in this part of the shell. So another not usable. This one, pretty shell, same thing as the last one, not usable. This one, same thing, not usable. So I'm gonna put this shell in the usable pile. The rest of these, not usable in this bag. So let's go ahead and put these back. Again, these are just some of the not usable shells. Some of these might find their way into escape because I think I'm going to set up another shell dweller tank. Is like, you know, I'm having the process of setting up the Brevis, but I think I want to either get multis or semiless and tear down the 6.8 community tank that I have downstairs. So yeah, these two, I'm just gonna put these in the not usable, basically the trash bag. But yeah, that's something I'm toying with, is getting a group of semiless or a group of multis to put into this 6.8 gallon tank that I have. It's 20 inches long, 12 inches wide, and I think 10 inches or 7 inches. It's not a very tall tank. Okay, I might need a knife or something for this. Of course, I don't have nothing close by. But it's coming untied, And I bought two of these at, let's see, I believe these were $9.99, so $10. This is a smaller bag, but the reason I grabbed these is because from the outside, I automatically saw shells that could be usable. So, go ahead and do the same thing. Interesting shells, very small opening, not usable. Flat shells, not usable. Starfish, not usable. And now that, like, as I'm thinking about it and going through these shells, there's more of those first kind that I pulled out. More of these ones also not really usable for shell dwellers. But now that I think about it, some of these shells might actually be good for just maintaining a certain hardness in your water, a certain calcium content, because they will break down over time. So that might be good. Another combo, not usable. And I'm saying not usable. When I'm saying not usable, I'm really just basically saying not hostable. Like, the fish won't do all their typical behaviors in said shells because they just don't fit the criteria. And this one has shells inside of it. Another one, not really usable. Opening is too small. But this is perfect for what the shell dwellers are looking for. Perfect, big hole. There's a curvature back there that they can go in. This is perfect. And we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. They're actually brittle, so these will be good shells for shell dwellers to actually like be able to move around. These might be land snails. Land snail shells are not as heavy as, you know, seashells like this per se. But this is another good rock. It's, damaged, but this will be a good one to throw in just for detail, even if they don't use it. Another good one also for fry also. And then I pretty much think that's all that's usable out of this bag. Yeah, of course I have all these small ones that I could do something with as far as making a tank look better, but they're not hostable. So they're not really at the top of my radar right now. Put them over there. By the way. And the bookshelf aquarium has been shipped, so we will be setting up that tank really soon. I'm just preparing myself by getting shells ahead of time, so I have everything I need to, you know, set the tank up properly once it arrives. So let's see how many usable we get out of this one. Straight off the top, we got, this is actually probably a usable shell. It's not your typical looking shell, but it's actually usable. I think that opening is big enough, and I think there's enough area back here for the fish to host in this. This stuff, trash, basically. Another little shell, another shell that I believe is hostable. It's another good example of something that the shell dullers would like to use. Here's just an interesting shell. Usable, maybe by like super small fish. Got more of these, basically the perfect shells for the shell dwellers. A little bit more of these. Some more ones with good openings, all usable. All 4 of these, I say, are usable shells. And the reason I didn't just order ESCARGOT shells is I just really wanted to have something different, and I wanted to be able to offer varying sizes of shell. Sorry, y'all probably can't even hear me while I'm ruffling that bag, but I wanted to be able to offer varying sizes of shell, just so I know I gave them a lot of choices to choose from. Looking in this, I don't really see anything else that will be like usable. I mean, maybe with this one, probably so. But other than that, I don't see anything that's really usable. Lots of small shells. Oh, this one's like destroyed. That one will still make its way into a tank for details. But I believe that is all the usable shells. All right, so I'm going to pick up the camera and kind of give you just a rundown of what I believe is usable, what makes these shells usable, the ones you see here in front of me, what makes these usable compared to the ones I have in this pile that is not. So that'll be a quick rundown of that, and then I'll end the video. Happy 4th of July. I hope y'all have a good one. Be safe, have fun, drink responsibly, you know? But let me go ahead and do this quick little brief showdown. All right, so this is my usable pile. I feel like I have a good variety of shells in here, a good amount of shells. For the Brevis, the next tank that I'm setting up is for the Neolamprologus Brevis. They're not like multis or similis in the fashion that they need a whole tank bedded with shells so that they can go through and really form their colony. The Brevis will kind of pick a shell, a pair will pick a shell, and they'll live in a shell and defend that shell. So I'm just going to give them, since it is going to be a 30-inch long tank, I wanted to give them multiple different territories and areas to use whatever shell they choose. And some of these bigger shells don't really fit that freshwater aesthetic as far as tank goes, but I think these will be good for sightline breaks. And if I do decide to use them, they'll be like, this is a quick way to hide for the fish. Over here, we have the not usable pile. And most over here, like this, this could go into this pile over here with these big ones of basically sightline breaks and just quick little caves, and not really shells. I mean, they're shells, but they'll perform more like caves for the fish or in territory breaks. So that's those ones. But the rest of these, the hole is either too big or there's just not enough space within the shell compared to the size of the hole. Like if this one would have been dope if it wasn't such a small hole. But all in all, I think I'm happy with what I got. Hopefully you were able to gain some knowledge as far as it goes. If you want to go the different route of escargot shells, what you need to be looking for to pick out, you know, the shells for your shell dwellers. Another key thing that I have heard, or since I've done research on and heard multiple people say this, the shell dwellers prefer lighter shells that they can move around. Most of these shells in this pile are light. This one has some weight to it, but most everything else are pretty light shells. That was something I was also didn't really go into my criteria as far as make it or break it, but that's another thing I was looking at. So all in all, I'm happy with what we got here as far as usable shells. Again, most shell dwellers need 3 to 4 shells per fish. I only have a trio of Brevis, so I believe this should be enough shells for them to establish a pair and then move forward from there. So thank y'all for watching. I know this is a kind of a brief video. I'm recording this on 4th of July, so happy 4th of July. Don't know when it will come out, but stay tuned, and hopefully y'all are excited as me for this bookshelf aquarium that's coming. Y'all have a good one.